Welcome to EPG Pathshala. Today, we will be discussing Module 25, Motivating Employees and Users. We will be touching upon the learning objectives like concept and meaning of motivation, different theories of motivation in management literature, practical application of motivational theories in libraries, how to motivate library employees, and how to motivate users of libraries, by way of introducing the concept and touching upon the concept, definition, and meaning of motivation, and theories of motivation, leadership and motivation, what is the relationship between them, and how can we apply the motivational theories in libraries, and how to motivate the library employees. And also, we will touch upon how to motivate the library users in this modern information era. And we will also recapitulate what we have learned. Now we'll look at the theories of motivation. There are many motivational theories in management literature. In general, these are divided into the following four categories: the content theories, process theories, job characteristics theories, environmentally based reinforcement theories. The content theories are those theories which have methods for analyzing staff in terms of needs. Process theories provide insights into what and how people think about and give meaning to organizational rewards. Job characteristics theories work around the concept of making the job interesting to an employee by way of job enrichment, role enlargement, etc. Environmentally based reinforcement theories deal with guidance about the way that people learn patterns of behavior that finally lead to environmental reinforcements. Organizational effectiveness is largely determined by the quality of employees and how the organization develops them. Therefore, it is natural that high-performing organizations try to recruit and retain the right people and provide them with training and professional development opportunities. However, abilities, skills, personality, and organizational support alone might not lead to individual job performance that contributes to overall organizational effectiveness if people are not motivated. It is possible that some employees choose not to perform even if they have the right qualifications. Managers face tough motivational challenges, especially in economic downturns, and it seems helpful to know key organizational behavior studies findings related to human motivation. However, the goal is not manipulating and making people do what managers want them to do, but making people reach their highest job performance potential and getting them excited to do so. What is motivation? What is this concept? A man or woman, a person in general, is motivated when he or she wants to do something. Essentially, a want, a need, or a requirement can become a motive for a person to perform an action, motivate him or her to do a job or achieve something. A motive is not quite the same as an incentive. Whereas a person may be inspired or made enthusiastic by an incentive, his or her main motive for wanting to do something may be fear of punishment. Motivation covers all the reasons which underlie the way in which a person acts. It is the result of interaction between an individual and within individuals at different times. Motivation has been defined in many ways, as you can see on the slide. It is an internal drive to satisfy an unsatisfied need. It can also be defined as some driving force within an individual by which they attempt to achieve some goal in order to fulfill some needs or expectations. Moving towards the actual meaning of motivation from the definitions, motivation is a process of that accounts for an individual's intensity, direction, and persistence of effort towards attaining a goal. It is a human psychological characteristic that contributes to a person's degree of commitment. It includes the factors that cause, channel, and sustain human behavior, in a particular committed direction. Motivation and leadership are concurrent and are inseparable. From an organizational perspective, motivating is a management process of influencing people's behavior based on this knowledge of what makes people tick. Motivation and motivating both deal with the range of conscious human behavior somewhere between two extremes of their reflex actions and the learned habits. Some of the basic assumptions about motivation are: it is commonly assumed to be a good thing. Motivation is one of the several factors that go into a person's performance, and it is in short supply and in need of periodic replenishment. Motivation is a tool with which managers can arrange job relationships in organizations. Motivation is the psychological feature that arouses an organism to act towards a derived goal and elicits, controls, and sustains certain goal-directed behaviors. There are many approaches to motivation, namely physiological, behavioral, cognitive, and social, etc. Broadly, motivation can be classified into two types: extrinsic or external motivation, intrinsic or internal motivation. Extrinsic or external motivation refers to motivation that comes from outside of an individual. The motivating factors are external or outside: rewards such as money or grades and threat of punishment. These rewards provide satisfaction and pleasure that the task itself may not provide. Extrinsic motivation refers to the performance of an activity in order to attain an outcome, which then contradicts intrinsic motivation. Moving on to intrinsic or internal motivation, it is related to motivation that is driven by an interest in the task itself and present within the individual rather than depending upon external pressure. Intrinsic motivation is based on taking pleasure in an activity rather than doing for a reward. It is defined as the doing of an activity for its inherent satisfactions rather than for some separable consequence. When intrinsically motivated, a person is moved to act for the fun or challenge entailed rather than because of external prods, pressures, or rewards. Although, in one sense, intrinsic motivation exists within individuals, in another sense, intrinsic motivation exists in the relation between individuals and activities. People are intrinsically motivated for some activities and not others, and not everyone is intrinsically motivated for any particular task. So, what are the differences between extrinsic and intrinsic rewards? And what are the differences between external and internal motivation? Extrinsic rewards are contrived and may incur direct cost. Examples: promotion, monetary reward, gifts, and bonuses. Whereas intrinsic rewards incur no direct cost. The best examples could be compliments, public recognition, opportunities, and a smile. Intrinsic rewards, they are motivators in context of Herzberg's motivators theory. The explanation about various theories of motivation has been provided in the e-text in detail, which you can study at your convenience. The explanation about various theories of motivation has been provided in the e-text in detail, which you can study at your convenience. Let us now move on to the section on relationship between leadership and motivation. How are they related? John Adair says, leadership and motivation are like brother and sister. It is difficult to think of a leader who does not motivate others. When managing a team of people, the leadership style should be adapted to meet each person's need. In general, there are 4 types of approaches: directing, coaching, supporting, and delegating. Intrinsic motivation is synonymous with a desire to work hard solely for the pleasure of task accomplishment, whereas extrinsic motivation encourages us to complete the task to receive the reward. In other words, rewards motivate people to get rewards. Research implies that the feedback and social reinforces, namely recognition and attention, may have as strong an impact on performance as pay. Also, extrinsic rewards can undermine an individual's intrinsic motivation but are not unimportant. Good pay, benefits, and good working condition are often significant factors to attract and retain best people and cannot be ignored. Depending on the level of employees' competence and commitment, the right choice has to be made. When a directly reporting subordinate is learning new skills, be directive. Define tasks clearly and check progress to make sure he is not faltering. Periodic coaching can be used when an employee is learning new skills but needs the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them. Supporting and encouraging highly competent employees who lack confidence is also one of the leadership desirables. Tasks should be delegated to employees who are both highly motivated and experienced. In all cases, a good leader's responsibility is to strike a perfect balance between handholding and empowering. However, as John Adair writes, from the 50-50 rule, it follows that the extent to which anyone else can be motivated is limited, for 50% of the cards are, so to speak, in their hands. A leader is a key factor in the environment, but his power is limited. The principles or rules of motivation under 8 headings, what a manager or leader can do to motivate his team are: be motivated yourself, select people who are highly motivated, treat each person as an individual, set realistic and challenging targets, remember that progress motivates, create a motivating environment, provide fair rewards, and give recognition. How a leader applies them will clearly depend upon the situation, but these rules stand as pillars of encouragement, both inviting the manager to take up the responsibility as a leader for inspiring others and pointing the leader in the right direction. Sometimes the leader also has to assess if it is worthwhile to practice participative management style and keep the working teams small in order to have accountability for the responsibility and job allocated to the team members. Also, the leader has to keep in mind that people's behavior changes if they are stressed. Flexibility is the key word in a good motivation system. No two people are alike, and human behavior is too complex for anyone to achieve long-term success as a team manager if he relies on rules, formulas, or a single system for handling every person and problem. In a sense, good supervision requires situational thinking. If managers or leaders treat staff members as they wish to be treated, there will be very few motivation problems in the team. A highly motivated staff member provides quality service, makes positive contributions to a planning and decision making, and accepts change and delegation more easily. The ability to motivate colleagues is an attribute required as a team leader. Let us move to the section on how to apply the motivational theories in library and information centers and how to motivate the library employees. Let us start with the application of Maslow's hierarchy of needs and its application in libraries. Maslow's hierarchy of needs tells about 5 factors, the 5 needs that are physiological, security, social affiliation, self-esteem, and self-actualization. We can exemplify by taking some of the factors in academic library workplace like clean air, enough workspace, ergonomically designed workstations, appropriate lighting, appropriate temperature, convenient and reasonable food service and essential facilities, ambient workplace settings. All these contribute to fulfillment of physiological needs. Coming to security needs, they can be safe workplace, stable wages and salaries, job security, health insurance, retirement benefits. Some of these can be attributed to the security needs. When we talk of social affiliation, employee social activities, teamwork, friendship, sense of belonging, affection, these factors can be attributed to social affiliation. Fulfillment of self-esteem need can be done through recognition, awards, prestige, career advancement, and a degree of autonomy. The last and final need that needs to be fulfilled when we apply Maslow's hierarchy of needs in libraries, it can be well-being of others, accepting the self, and having meaningful work to do, and at the end of the day, having a sense of job fulfillment and satisfaction may fulfill the self-actualization need. We have seen the possible application of Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory to library and information centers. Likewise, hygiene motivator theory makes us realize that job conditions such as pay and benefits alone might not motivate people. Expectancy theory suggests that managers need to provide rewards that are valued by their employees and that the employees need to feel they can achieve their goals, and high performance will result in the reward. Goals need to be specific, sufficiently difficult, accepted by the employee, and self-set if possible so that the employee becomes naturally committed. In addition, process and reward distribution needs to be fair to enhance trust, job performance, and motivation. We also learned that characteristics of jobs affect human motivation. Jobs with a variety of activities, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback mechanisms tend to increase motivation. Autonomy does not mean that employees can do whatever they want. Instead, it involves hiring the right people, providing training, explaining that high performance is expected, enriching their jobs, providing respect and independence, and rewarding them appropriately. Direct feedback channels should be established between service users and the employees who contribute to the work, as well as between the employees and their supervisors. Providing appropriate credits to work is important so that thank you notes and other feedback arrive to the people who were involved. We also learned that characteristics of jobs affect human motivation. Jobs with a variety of activities, task identity, task significance, autonomy, and feedback mechanisms tend to increase motivation. Autonomy does not mean that employees can do whatever they want. Instead, it involves hiring the right people, providing training, explaining that high performance is expected, enriching their jobs, providing respect and independence, and rewarding them appropriately. Direct feedback channels should be established between service users and the employees who contribute to the work, as well as between the employees and their supervisors. Providing appropriate credits to work is important so that thank you notes and other feedback arrive to the people who were involved. Rewarding excellent work is essential to reinforce and maintain employee motivation. Intrinsic rewards such as compliments, public recognition, professional opportunities are motivators according to the content theory and can be as effective as extrinsic rewards such as monetary rewards and gifts, which might motivate employees to win the reward rather than to focus on the work itself. Nevertheless, extrinsic rewards encourage risk-taking and for people to do extraordinary things and cannot be ignored. At the same time, it will be important for managers to be mindful of those employees who get disappointed when their efforts does not lead to rewards. Distributing rewards consistently instead of providing them only when accomplishment is visible will help strengthen trust within the organization. Now moving on to motivating library staff, how do we do that? As we know, libraries are non-profitable, labor-intensive service organizations where people are served by people. One of the prevalent challenges that libraries are facing is how to motivate library staff and to get competitive advantage. The paraprofessional staff are the chief agents in customer service and frequently act as the interface with the customer. The paraprofessional staff are the catalogers, book lifters, bookbinders, etc., who are at a lower technical category. Consequently, their motivation is crucial in determining the quality of this interface. The performance of paraprofessional staff determines, to a large extent, the quality of the customer satisfaction and has a significant impact on the contribution that libraries can make to their communities. Finally, based on extensive research literature contributed by many researchers in the field of library and information services, the chief motivators in a service-oriented setup like libraries have emerged as the opportunity to learn new skills and groom themselves, the opportunity for career development, and having authority and responsibility in the positions they hold. By implementing these, library leaders can have a motivated workforce who can contribute a lot to their libraries and their organizations. Much has been discussed about motivating library employees, but not much is covered in the library literature about motivating the users in this overtly digitally dominated era. What could motivate the users to visit the libraries for fulfilling their information needs? This has become an insurmountable challenge. Decreasing footfall has been a major concern to many librarians and library managers in the recent days. Having come through the module, let us now recapitulate and recollect what we have discussed and what we have learned. We have understood the concept, definition, and meaning of motivation. Motivation is a psychological feature and a managerial tool. All employees require being motivated at some point of time, though at variable degrees. Depending upon the nature of the organization and employees, an approach can be chosen from many motivational theories as discussed, or it can be a mix of motivational theories as well. Motivation needs situational thinking on part of the leader. Leadership and motivation go hand in hand and are inseparable. In a library setting, library employees and library users both need to be motivated. Library is service-oriented. Employees need to be continuously motivated through career development, skills improvement, incentives, promotions, and participation in decision-making. When it comes to library users, focus on customer service, use of latest technology, facilities and ambience, relevant and current collections, and striking a balance between rigidity and flexibility would definitely prove to be motivational to the library users of modern era. Now, time for some interesting facts. Do you know that intrinsic motivation, we'll do the entire slide. नहीं पूरा नहीं करेंगे, ये स्लाइड 48 है, वो रिकैपिचुलेशन मैंने खत्म कर दिया, अब नया स्लाइड करेंगे. Slide 48. Now, time for some interesting facts. Do you know intrinsic motivation is greater than extrinsic motivation? What do we want? Finally, what is it that it motivates us? Is it compliance or engagement? Mere compliance of orders is never motivational. A complete engagement in the tasks that are assigned to us proves to be motivational. Daniel Pink elucidates that autonomy, mastery, and purpose, all these three in a given task, lead to engagement in the task. When engagement goes down, older generations might quit and stay, but millennials, people of today, will quit and leave. It's a fact that Google engineers can spend 20% of their time working on anything they want. Therefore, almost all their good ideas have come from that 20%. Isn't it interesting? So, wish you all the best and thank you.